Well, the film charts Elvis Presley's rise to stardom over 2 decades and has been very eagerly awaited. But how true to life is it? Well, one of those who is most qualified to know is one of Elvis's closest friends, American talent manager Jerry Schilling, who joins me now from Hollywood. Jerry, thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful. You've seen this film. You're in it. At least an actor playing you is in it.
Yes.
You knew the real Elvis very well indeed. How does it all stack up?
It's amazing. I've produced quite a few documentaries on Elvis TV. I didn't produce this, as we know, Baz. It's the best piece on Elvis overall. About the 50s, 60s, and 70s, it's so important to me that his legacy is captured on this film. A great cast, a nice actor named Luke Bracey plays me. Austin Butler is unbelievable. He doesn't overdo it. He's got the essence. And Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks. What can you say? He's great.
Well, that's a really positive endorsement because, of course, Elvis' story has been told so many times. What do you think this film adds to our understanding?
I think it adds some real important things. You know, Elvis and I grew up in Memphis and in the South during the segregation period. And there's always been these misconceptions about Elvis and prejudice, probably just because we're from the South. But you see, there wasn't a prejudiced bone in Elvis's body. And you see his influences and friends like B.B. King and Little Richard. And it really builds a true story. And it's also a very dramatic film. It's about Colonel Parker, his manager that I worked with as a loan out from Elvis one day a week, and the battle between creativity and business. And, I always feel that I lost my friend at an early age due to creative disappointments. He wanted to go to England. He wanted to go to Japan. We were setting things. And there's a scene in the movie where I actually have an argument with the colonel about this, or my character does. But, you really forget that Elvis was a rebel. He was James Dean. He wasn't accepted as later in life by the establishment or even by religion or politicians. He earned that over the years. And it takes that whole spectrum of his life and puts it in perspective. And I think that's what Baz Luhrmann has brilliantly done. And I'm going to tell you, all the girls in the world are going to fall in love with Austin Butler. I mean, I've seen it at the Cannes Film Festival. And he's as charismatic off screen as he is on screen.
As they fell in love with Elvis.
It's been great to... Yeah.
So let me ask you...
He does it well, though.
Let me ask you about one story. We just saw some pictures there that didn't make the cut of the film. The day Elvis went to the White House to declare war on drugs with President Nixon, because you were there. You were there with him, and you were in those pictures. Surreal?
I was the only person in the world. I wasn't working for Elvis. I was working at Paramount as a film editor. I'd quit working for him. And he called me in the middle of the night and said, will you pick me up at the airport? He was coming in from Memphis via Dallas. And I said, sure. And I said, who's with you? He always travels with us entourage, known as the Memphis Mafia. He said, nobody, and I don't want anybody in the world to know where I am. I said, okay. I pick him up. We go to a house that he had for sale out here in California. No furniture or anything. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. He said, why don't we get some rest? And the next day he said, I need you to go to Washington with me. I think his intent at that time was go to the DEA, John Finlander, and get a badge that would let him have a concealed weapon traveling overseas. He was preparing to tour. Finlander turned him down. So he wrote a letter to the president, and I got a call from Buddy Crow. And he said, the president has read Mr. Presley's letter and would like to meet him in 30 minutes. Elvis came from the DEA. to stand out in front, pick me up. I had some security from Memphis come up, Sonny West, where I could go back and not lose my job. And we wound up in the Oval Room with President Nixon.
That's an amazing story. Maybe they could make a second film, a sequel to tell that story.
Well, there's been 2 films about it.
Yeah.
And they certainly weren't on the level. I mean, one was kind of cute and okay,
Yeah.
and it came a lot from my book. But there's no film or project, even ones I've worked on, that has come close to what Baz Luhrmann and these great actors have done with the life story of Elvis and his contemporary music. I mean, there's drama, there's fun, there's,
All right.
you know, the 2.5 hours go like that. So I'm proud of the film, proud to be a part of it, and
Proud to be in
I
it.
saw the premiere in London, red carpet.
Jerry,
So,
we're going to put that to the
I know
test.
it went over well there.
Yeah, we'll put that to the
Okay.
test and we'll go and see it. Jerry Schilling, one of Elvis's best friends for 10 years. Thanks so much for joining me.
23 years.
23.
Thanks for having me.